Good day, Disky99. How are you guys? Welcome to the channel once again. Today we're going to discuss the big game over the weekend on Sunday between Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs. Please guys, remember to like and subscribe and comment. Okay, football is a game of opinion, so please guys, I do appreciate your comments. So please do make sure that you comment. Now today we're going to do a preview. We're obviously going to look at head-to-head of Sundowns against Chiefs, their recent records, and then we're going to look at the possible lineups that Nabi is going to put up and Miguel is going to put up, and then we'll try and analyze who will possibly win the game. Although cup games are very much hard to predict. So let's get straight into it, guys. The head-to-head records, from the top of my head, we all know that recently Chiefs have been losing to Sundowns. The last win I can remember, it was that 1-0 win. I think it was still Arthur's one, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been one-sided. Mamelodi Sundowns, the last game, which I think was probably the best performance this season. Chiefs lost 1-0 to Sundowns. You probably feel that Chiefs could have won that one. And the first game of the season, that was when Nabi came through, just after I was hired. His first game, he almost won that game. Chiefs lost 2-1. However, that game was controversial. So yeah, that was also a close game that Chiefs could have won. Between that, it's been 4-0. I think there's a 5-0 in favor of Sundowns in between. So yeah, it's been one-sided affair between Sundowns and Chiefs lately. So you'll ask yourselves why it's like that, but it's obvious. Sundowns do have a winning culture. They have a philosophy. It doesn't matter who's the coach. I think Pito did a very good job in terms of laying a solid foundation on that team. And then when it comes to the Perfect Glamour Boys, that's the total opposite. They've had so many coaches: Kevin Johnson, Malifinteki, Atazwane, Kevin Hunt. Who's the other one? Before Kevin, I think it was Stuart Baxter, Hans Middendorp. So they've been changing coaches, like somebody who changes their underwear. So I think that's probably been the biggest problem for the Achilles heel for Kaizer Chiefs in recent years. That's why we will say now going 10 years without winning anything, because management have been failing the team. Meanwhile, the Sundowns management have not been doing that. They have standards. They have standards in the league. That's why they've been champions for the 8 past seasons. They have standards in the cup. Look at Rulani. He couldn't maintain their Champions League standards. Although he won the league, they got rid of him. Look at Rulani. He couldn't maintain their cup dominance. They got rid of him. They saw that they were almost close to getting out of the Champions League. So rather than waiting for Rulani to go to exit out the cup, they took preventative measures and they got rid of him. So look, Miguel Cardoso is there. It's proven to be a good decision by management. It's totally the opposite of what we see happening at Kaizer Chiefs. So it's very interesting clash of cultures that we're gonna see on Sunday. So now, who's gonna win the game? That's the biggest question. Can Chiefs cause an upset? Now let's try and take a calculated guess before we go to the answer. Now, if you look at Sundowns, let's start with Sundowns. If you look at Sundowns, they are in the semi-finals of the Champions League. They beat Esperance 1-0. Although the second game, it was controversial. However, we're not going to discuss the Champions League controversy. That's not what we're talking about here. Here we're talking about Nedbank Cup. However, I just want to make a reference to say the team that probably played against Esperance is probably going to be the same lineup, because Sundowns, they thrive on consistency. So now, if we look at the lineup, they had Williams in goal. I think Williams is going to start. Right back, Mudau started. I think Mudau is going to start. Kekane at right centre back. I think Kekane is going to start. I think Kaizer is going to start this one. I don't think he started the Champions League game, but I think Kaizer will start at left centre back. And then at left back, I won't go for Suarez. I will predict that Lunga will start at number 2 at left back, because if you think about it, Kaizer Chiefs are very strong on the right, so they need Suarez is a little bit slow, and Kaizer Chiefs are quick on that side. So I think Cardoso will start with Luma. And then it's a 4-3-3 formation. Sundowns, they don't change their midfield and their front line. So unless it's Champions League and it's away game, but this game, that it's their home game, and it's a cup game, so I'm sure they will go pound for pound. They will see if Chiefs can stand for them. So I think it's going to be in the midfield, it's going to be Allende, it's going to be Mukwena, it's going to be Adams. That's been the strongest midfield in the country. So I think Cardoso will go for that midfield trio. And then their forwards, it's going to be Ribeiro. I don't know, Amakosi will not want to hear about Ribeiro. I think he will start. And then I think they will go for Reynes as a number 9. Although Salas is very much capable of starting the game, but because he's slow, and I think Kaizer Chiefs are also slow at the back, so they will want quick players so that when they go for the transition, they're able to attack very quickly. So I think it's going to be Ribeiro, Reynas, and Shaluli, the Shaolin monk. So those three, I think that's going to be the starting lineup of Mamelodi Sundowns. Okay, for Kaizer Chiefs, now this is very much difficult to predict this starting lineup. But I think Kaizer Chiefs, the one advantage that they have going into this game is that Sundowns were playing now in midweek. So Chiefs have had more rest, and they've probably have a few training sessions under their belt. Sundowns have probably been just recovering. So Sundowns will not have had sessions like Chiefs, but both teams know each other. There's nothing new about Kaizer Chiefs, and vice versa. So both teams know each other. So there's no excuses to say, no, we were tired, you guys were fresh. I don't think that will come into the picture. It's a big game, bragging rights is at stake. So I think Nabi will go for Vuma. Vuma will start. yeah, people are saying he's conceding a lot, but if you look at it, the goals he's conceding, his defense. Look at the 1-1 against TS Galaxy. You know, Vuma, it came from Dove, and then Vuma tried to save, and then what happens? The ball bumps into Simang, and then it's an own goal. So those kind of things, you think, maybe Chiefs are bataling. You know, they have this bad luck. But yeah, sometimes even the coach makes questionable decisions. But when you're not winning games, fans will start asking questions. Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? Why are you putting that player on? Why are you starting this player? Why are you not starting that player? But I don't want to get into that. It's going to be Vuma at goalkeeper. I think at right back it's going to be Solomons. Because Reeve is not there, he's injured. So it's going to be Solomons at right back. And then it's going to be Simang. Miguel is not there. He went off with an injury. So it's going to be Simang at right back. And then I predict Dave will come in at left centre back. Because the only other central defender that we do have, it's Aiden McCarthy and who's that guy from Stellenbosch? Quinica. It's either gonna be on the bench. They're gonna have McCarthy and Quinica, but I predict that Quinica is ahead of Eden McCarthy. Although Eden has been doing very well for the under-20 national team. But yeah, at the centre back pairing, I think it's gonna be Dove and Musima. Left back, that's the weak. Now that's the N3 for Kaizer Chiefs. Left back, really, Sundowns will know. They will know that we have to attack Kaizer Chiefs through their problem area, which is at left back. But I think Cross did well in his last game, so Cross should start at left back. And then, Chiefs obviously play 4-3-4-2, a double pivot in the midfield. That's gonna be Tsele and Mart. I think Mart will start ahead of No. Because you need all the experience against Sundowns. So I think Nabi will look at the very strong midfield of Sundowns, and he will want his two most experienced central midfielders. So it should be Tele. If Tele, I'm assuming Tele has recovered because he didn't play the last game. Otherwise, if he hasn't recovered, then it might very well be Ngobo should be Ngobo. But I predict it should be Tele and Mark as the double pivot, and then that three in front of them. On the left forward is gonna be Modi, and then it's gonna be Serino at number 10. Then it's gonna be Lollipop on as the right forward, and then the young Wandile Duba as the number 9. So yeah, I think that's the starting lineup that Kaizer Chiefs will put. Now, if we look at pound for pound, if you compare both teams, you see that meanwhile Sundowns have a very solid team. This team is chasing the treble. They're chasing the league. They're chasing the Champions League. They're chasing the Nedbank Cup. So that's a treble chasing team. And this team of Kaizer Chiefs, very inconsistent. They're fighting to get into the top 8. Not even sure if they're even safe from the relegation zone, because they're not that far from. I think that the points difference between them and relegation is about 6-7 points. And then they're playing for number 3, number 4, but they still have to win their games. But they're not winning their games. They're struggling for consistency. So, all the odds are saying Mamelodi Sundowns are going to win this game. However, you never should undermine Kaizer Chiefs, because this is a big game. And if you write them off, like some people have written them off, you write them off at your own peril. So yes, guys, comment, tell me what you think. Tell me if you think maybe I'm wrong, which lineup I've got wrong, which lineup I've got right. And my own personal, I think it's going to be a 3-2 game. I think this is going to be a very entertaining game. It's going to be a 3-2 game. It's going to be a game of high emotions. Might see 1 or 2 red cards in this game. Yeah, so we are up for a very exciting game. This is not going to be like that last game that was that 1-0 game. No, this is going to be a 2-2 game, extra time game, 3-2 game, a game full of drama. I'm anticipating a very exciting game. Okay guys, thank you very much for joining the Disky99 channel. Join me for my next video, which will be a preview of Orlando Pirates against Mamelodi Sundowns. Thank you.